there, my name is Brooke Davis. I'm a women's functional nutritionist and fitness coach who has specialized in fat loss for over 15 years. And I want to give you a clear picture of why so many women get stuck with conventional fat loss approaches. If you've tried eating less, tracking macros, cutting carbs, taken a GLP-1, and the weight still won't move, or maybe you've lost some weight but then gained it back plus some, this is because fat loss is being treated as the problem when it's actually the symptom. Okay? I like to use this model. And what we're really looking at is what's happening underneath the surface that's blocking fat loss in the first place. Okay, this weight gain, the fatigue, bloating, cravings, poor digestion, all of these are adaptive responses. Okay, when the body is exposed to repeated or chronic stress, it shifts into a protective state. The stressors that most women are dealing with aren't extreme, but they are constant. Things like chronic dieting, postpartum shifts, perimenopause, birth control, blood sugar dysregulation, toxin overload from the environment, from food, all of those things are stressors at the foundation, okay? And they impact all of these systems that cause dysfunction, okay? Your metabolic systems include your hormones, your immune system, digestion, detoxification, energy, and nervous systems, okay? And when these experience this chronic stress, they shift into dysfunction. And we see this as things like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, elevated A1C. And unfortunately, the problem is that conventional medicine often tells women that their labs are normal because these ranges are based on population averages of one of the most unhealthy populations in the world. They're not based on optimal physiology. And so early metabolic disruptions gets missed even though these symptoms are present. That's why we use functional ranges to look at labs with, because they allow us to identify where the system is under strain significantly earlier. The reality of all of this is that all of these stressors signal threat to the body. And when threat is detected, your metabolism is going to conserve energy to prioritize function of these systems and survival. That means it's going to increase fuel storage and it's going to preserve over losing fat. Okay, and that is why most women are still gaining weight despite eating less. They have fatigue that doesn't improve with a good night's sleep, have digestive issues that, like bloating or constipation, even though you're eating clean. Trying to override these symptoms with just more restriction, more cutting calories, more exercise only increases your stress and deepens the dysfunction that we see. And unfortunately, that's what most popular approaches to fat loss do. They assume that someone is coming in with optimal function, the ability to handle more stress and an extreme caloric deficit. And this is why conventional fat loss strategies fail for so many women. And this is where the dieting cycle comes in. You might start a diet, you cut calories, usually it's carbohydrates, you might lose weight initially, but if the deficit is too extreme or you stay here for too long, the body will start to burn muscle. This makes you more tired. It further stresses out the body. You experience hormonal shifts. And the more exhaustion you have pushes you past the ability for your willpower to hang on. And what you'll often experience is what's called hyperphagia. This is a biological response of a sudden and extreme increase in appetite that comes after cutting calories or after dieting. Okay, your body registers this as a threat. And so what it does is that it will actually increase your hunger hormones, it will decrease your satiety or fullness hormones to where your willpower can't be overridden for more than a couple of weeks. Then we have body fat overshooting. After this restriction, your body wants to regain the muscle it lost. But the problem is that even if you are training properly, eating protein, etc., muscle is slow to rebuild. Fat is restored quickly. And so the body will also store extra fat as insurance against future stress, leaving you with less muscle, more fat, and a slower metabolism. What this does is actually raises your body's fat set point, and future fat loss becomes much harder. This cycle probably sounds familiar to you. And this is where information versus application really matters. Most women are not stuck because they don't know enough. In fact, most of us are drowning in information. They just don't know what's actually good, how to apply it, or in what order. Knowing what to do is not the same as knowing what to do first, what actually applies to your body, or what matters right now. Most women don't need more tips, they don't need more guides, they need the right information filtered through their physiology, their stress load, and their current capacity. Effective science based programs always have the same three things in common. First, the plan is right for you. Everyone's metabolism, hormones, stress tolerance, lifestyle are different. So, application means meeting the body where it is based on data, your blood work, labs, assessments, not where a plan assumes it should be. Second, the right process or framework, not just what to do, but when and in what order for hormones, nervous system regulation, digestion, energy, real life. Okay, sustainability only happens when the process fits the right person, fits the person. And then lastly is the right support system. Science is very, very clear on this. Results happen faster and last longer when structure and accountability reinforce habits under real life stress. And this is where we come in. If you've taken the functional assessment, we'll apply your information and give you realistic targets, the best next steps based on where you're at, as well as a long term roadmap of how to get there, where you ultimately want to go. If you haven't taken it, shoot me a message and I'll send you the link. But then we like to finish off with a couple of free resources that best address some of the foundational issues we see for women in midlife so that you can start regaining your energy, improving your digestion, and ultimately seeing the fat loss that you are looking for. Looking forward to chatting with you.